Welcome to Hey Therapist. I'm your host, Leslie Ross. With me is my producer, Jay Wesley Lindley. Let's get mental.
Lay down. Lay down.
Amelia's in the studio today.
Hanging out with us. He's a good girl.
She blends in with you. Like, she can hardly see her over there. She's hiding. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to Hey Therapist. Got Jay back in the Washburn studio with me here today.
She conned me into another one. No.
I know.
I enjoyed doing the last one with you, even though, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of seeing myself on the video.
Yeah, me either. And that's one of the things that I thought we could talk about today. Because last video was fine. Like, I feel like we were at such a distance, except for the clips, that it was okay.
Well, we could scoot closer if we have to.
We could.
You can fix that by
Premiere Pro.
twisting this right here.
Twisting this one?
Yeah, that'll make it tight for you.
Okay.
Sorry.
I like it when it's tight. Oh, that's what she said. Okay, anyway.
That's what he said.
Focus. We have to focus. So I was talking to Jay, though, and I was telling him about an episode a few episodes ago. It was the one we recorded here, but the camera was, I'm going to blame the camera angle.
Horrible angle.
No, just terrible. Not the fact that I actually have dark circles under my eyes on a regular basis, but I think between the dark circles and the angle, I hated the way I looked.
Oh, no.
Hated.
Yeah.
Like, Deidre does all of my promotional stuff. Shout out to DLR Consulting. She does all of those things for me.
She's the best, by the way.
Does a great job.
Tons of work for me.
Oh, amazing. She couldn't even make me look good at that. But it was, and I looked fine. Like, I know objectively it was fine.
What do you expect, a magician? No.
That no one is going to look at that and be like, oh my God. I mean, they might. It's whatever.
There are trolls out there.
There are, for sure. Luckily, I have not gotten big enough to encounter a lot of that.
It is definitely directly related.
Oh, for sure.
The bigger you get, the more trolls you get.
For sure.
Because your people that you love you will support you initially.
That's right.
So they're not going to give you a hard time about looking a certain way.
Exactly. Like, girl, you did not.
Send
me some constructive, friends that are listening. If you see something, be like, hey, not the best angle. Because I probably already feel insecure about it. You can tell me, but I hated it. I hated posting the reels. I hated doing any of the promotions for that episode. It was a good episode. I can't remember what it was about. I hated the way I looked.
Because you were so focused on the way you looked. You can't even remember the content.
That's
funny.
Went through probably 6 reels that I posted. And, I always go to TikTok first because my episodes, like if you watch on YouTube, they're captioned because in my productions part, I add captions to all of mine. But the clips, sometimes when she's editing, she has to edit out the caption track. So I will load to TikTok first because you can add captions in TikTok and then save from TikTok and then post that everywhere else. Nice. So that's why most of my promotional stuff comes off of my TikTok.
Gotcha.
Is because from there I can get captions on there. And I know I prefer to have captions on promotional things because I'm sometimes at work and I can't have my sound on and I don't want to be listening in the meeting that I'm in. So I need captions. People put captions on there.
All right.
And then there's been an episode where production took forever because y'all know technology is not my friend. And I did everything and fought it for like 3 or 4 days. And I finally got it uploaded, exported, ready to go, and realized it had no captions. And that episode went out without captions.
Gotcha.
Because I wasn't doing it again. But I hated the way I looked. And I am not by nature an insecure person.
That's what I was going to say. Would you consider yourself a fairly secure person?
Sure.
Okay.
I am not a person
you don't pick apart every part of your body.
I
that
don't.
Type of thing. Okay.
I mean, we all have things we don't enjoy about ourselves, which is just normal because bodies don't always do what we want our bodies to do. And I'm not someone who wears makeup most of the time. I wear it for the podcast because I don't want to look all washed out. I'll be the same colors as wall, just blending in. But I don't always wear makeup. I really haven't ever. I mean, in high school, of course, we all had the Mary Kay pancake makeup that you just thought you needed to wear. But in my adult life, I don't wear a lot of makeup. I don't feel like I really need it. I'm not trying to impress anybody. This is who I am. Right. Take me or not. And like this is what you get. Like
Because
I
this
can
is
clean
a
up
fairly
nice.
minimum makeup here.
Yeah. I
mean,
just throw some on my eyes and
Yeah.
put some color on my lips and try to not, like I said, blend in with the wall. But it's one of those things where I do have friends who have to have on a full face before they'll leave the house because they don't feel like they look good or good enough or whatever it is. And I'm like, my God, that sounds exhausting. Like, I'm not going to get up and fix my hair every day. The hot iron, the curling iron is not plugged in on a regular basis. That ain't happening. I mean, I'll get cleaned up. We had the wedding.
Yes.
Junior got married, and so we had a wedding. We all cleaned up, got my hair did, looked all nice and pretty. And
I actually combed my hair.
Combed your hair.
What I have up
in
there.
the suit, looking all fly. Like, we all looked good.
Yeah.
But the next day, it was a different story. It was sweats and a t-shirt, and I mean, this is what you get. But yeah, I really, really hated the way I looked, and I have a lot of friends who are adults, let's say, well into adulthood, and
Middle-aged, is that okay?
Middle-aged is
Okay.
fair. Yeah, I mean, depending on what
30s,
you think,
40s, 50s?
yeah, what you think you're going to live to. Like,
That's true.
I'm well past middle age. Like, I do
Yeah.
not expect to live over 100, but it's one of those things where as we get older, and especially if you're single, because I think it's different when you're in a relationship and you've been in a long-term relationship and bodies have changed or something's happened and someone's put on some weight or someone took off some weight or whatever it is, you're in it for that. Like, because a lot of times the attractiveness and the drive and everything else comes from who the person is. Like, there was one of the, and I even wrote it down. I didn't get a statistic, but it was talking about on self-esteem and all of that stuff. And it said confidence for both men and women. Confidence is the quality that is most attractive. So if you are just confident in who you are,
I can see that.
And you're okay with it, because I've dated some bigger guys who they themselves are a little self-deprecating, but I didn't care. Like, it didn't bother me.
You've said on this podcast you don't mind a dad bod.
I don't mind a dad bod. I don't mind it because if you can make me laugh and make me feel seen and heard and loved, I really don't care. I mean, there's got to be a tingle. Obviously, there has to be some attraction.
And you're not excluding guys that can do all that and have a six-pack.
Sure. Like,
it doesn't matter.
Where are you? Hit me up in the DMs.
They're married.
They are married. It's like I saw a thing on Valentine's Day that said, women, if you're looking for a man that's willing to be married, go to Tinder. There's all kinds of married men on there. So, it's one of those things.
That's
but
funny.
I think it's true that confidence is one of those things. And I also, when I was actually doing some research for the episode, it said that, I know, crazy, right? It said that, it said 85% of people, look, I got to put my glasses on.
You got glasses sitting right on top of it.
They're right on top of it. I'm still squinting. 85% of people report that they struggled with self-confidence issues in their lifetime. And low self-esteem in the workplace leads to earning an average of $8,000 less a year. Because people who have low self-esteem oftentimes feel that imposter syndrome more than other people. So they don't feel like they're worthy of asking for a raise, that they're good enough to ask for a raise. It's really important to kind of feel good about yourself. But, I wanted to kind of be honest about that because there's a lot of men that message me that appreciate my looks, and that's all they really want to discuss or are interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see
is
that.
the physicality of it. And I'm like, yeah, no, I lived that life. I had my whole phase. Like, I'm not trying to live that life anymore. Like, especially with you married, you're married. Like, you have a whole person that lives with you even. Like, what the like, why are you with that person if you have a whole, that's somebody else's problem. But, it's just, sometimes you just don't believe it though. And after that video, I was just like, oh, I hate the way I look in that. And I really didn't want to use it. And we all edit ourselves on social media, right? We don't post the picture that makes us look bad or that's a weird angle. I mean, sometimes we might if it's a good enough picture for other people, but for the most part, we can edit what's out there, and I really think that social media has created this drive for people to look perfect and feel perfect and show the perfect life. And when you don't have that, when you don't feel great, when you have put on weight, and it could be something medical. Most of the time in your 30s, 40s, 50s, it is something medical. It's a hormone issue or a thyroid issue, or, and testosterone is a hormone issue, but a lot of men don't have that checked. Yeah, and that can cause you to put on weight. They think, well, I'm just tired, and I'm just getting older, so I don't have the sex drive I once did, and I have a hard time sleeping. Bro, get your testosterone checked. Like, that's a big thing. So, and you're working out and you can't lose weight and you're doing all of these other things. If you're eating right and you've changed your habits and you truly are eating right, and you're maybe documenting, because there are those apps that you can put in what you eat all day. If you're leaving out that you had a handful of M&Ms, because it was just a handful of M&Ms. Yeah. If that toast had butter and jelly on it, but you're just putting in toast, you're not being honest with yourself.
Right.
But if you are, and you're being active, and you're not losing weight, and you're not seeing the changes, then you need to go see your doctor, because there's probably something wrong. It could be it could be a heart issue, thyroid issue, hormonal imbalance. All of these things can lead to weight gain, and sometimes it's just getting older.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is it? The stress raises cortisol levels, which is part of the stuff that makes you pack on the pounds. So, I mean, a stressful life alone can be that, and I think everybody deals with stress in their life at some point, for sure.
For sure.
Stress eating too.
Stress eating, yes. That stress also can lead you to some bad behaviors. You may be so stressed or working late or whatever that you're not cooking at home anymore. You're not making your meals. You're running through drive-thrus. You're stopping and getting hot box food at the gas station.
You're drinking yourself to sleep.
Good. You're drinking yourself to sleep.
Which is also bad for the old metabolism and everything else.
Right. And by the way, side note, if you're drinking to go to bed, you're not sleeping well. Alcohol interrupts your sleep. You may fall asleep. You may say, well, I fell asleep real quick and I slept for a long time.
I don't remember waking up at all.
It's like, yeah, but you never went into real sleep. So then you're going to wake up groggy, and you're going to create a cycle.
And less sleep also creates more weight, more ability for weight gain. So, you're also fighting yourself there too. So
absolutely. And if you have, sleep issues, like for those that use CPAP machines or need to be using a CPAP machine, the more weight you have, the harder it is for your body to breathe, especially if you sleep on your back. And a lot of people that snore and have breathing issues do sleep on their backs, because sometimes they'll elevate their head, but all of that weight is on your chest. It's making it hard to breathe. It's making it hard to sleep.
I was 285 at my max, and I used to snore every night. And I got into jiu-jitsu. I started running and working out and things of that nature, but it was really jiu-jitsu that took the weight off. And that created, I don't snore anymore. And I think it's, like you said, it just took the weight off of that, whatever it is that causes to push forward and snore. So, and some people, that'll work for you, just losing some of that and it's that internal weight, that is causing it. It's the fat around your organs, things of that nature, which is the bad stuff, So, but if you do start, like you're talking about, you're working out, you're eating right, for a fact you're staying under, you're in a calorie deficit, and you don't feel like you're changing, you may be losing some of that fat around your organs.
True.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's it definitely, when it comes to weight loss specifically for me, it was consistency. I couldn't, because I am horrible about consistency. But once I found something that I love to do that caused me to get in the gym every other day, then the consistency kind of helped. That helped consistency. So fine, you like bike riding in the woods, you like running on the sand, whatever it is, wherever you are, find that you love to do, and then it becomes more easier to make it a habit, because there are going to be days that you don't want to do it. And if it's not already a habit, you'll be like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Right.
And then tomorrow comes, you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. You know?
And then you've already missed a week.
Exactly.
And you're like,
and then you're like, I might as well eat some McDonald's too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm just going to keep the membership. I'm not going to cancel the membership, because then I'm really committing to my lifestyle of just not caring, but I'm not going to actually go to the gym. So it's a struggle.
But I did hear someone use this analogy, and it really stuck with me, about eating, let's say, fast food or donuts. Donuts were something that was one of my hard things to get rid of. But they likened it to a phone, okay? They said, you eat a fast food, that's you dropping your phone and making a little crack, okay? Now, if you dropped your phone and made a little crack, you're not just going to then stomp on it and, bust it up and destroy it, which was the equivalent of just saying, oh, well, I ate McDonald's. I destroyed my meals for today. I'm just going to eat bad for the rest of the day or the rest of the week.
F it.
Yeah, exactly. So even if you have that slip up, if you want to call it, you still can just go right back to eating well, and it's not going to change much in the grand scheme of things, because it's very consistent over time is the change you're going to get, whether it be getting fatter or getting skinnier.
Right.
I mean, it's going to take you years of eating McDonald's for you to get as big as you did or whatever.
And then you just get bigger and bigger. And you'll hear a lot of people talk about when they gain weight. And I know it was the same for me at one point when I was putting on weight. I didn't even realize it. Like, until nothing in your closet really fits you and you're just super uncomfortable. You're like, oh, why is everything so tight? I was like, well, because you've put on 25 pounds.
Well, and if you think about it, especially for us a little more advanced in our years,
I guess,
when we are gaining weight, we fill out our wrinkles. We look better. We feel better because we got the carbs running in our system. You know what I mean? So you're like, oh, I'm doing good. And then when you say, all of a sudden, you're like, wait, why am I having to let this belt out a notch? You're like, oh, because I'm gaining, I've been gaining weight for 6 months now.
Right. Not even really noticed it. Yeah. And I think it's, sometimes stressors can't be avoided. Like, there are things that happen that, life is sometimes unkind and unfair, and terrible things happen or whatever. But there are things that happen that, you can control. You do know are coming. So, maybe there is an event that you have to go to that's super stressful, or a work thing that's changing, or, recently we finally moved back into our office after a year and 3 months and 2 weeks, but who's counting? We moved back into our office.
That wasn't stressful at all, was it?
It wasn't stressful at all. And so I have all of this staff that have never really worked in the office. They've been out in the field. They were hired out in the field. They started after the tornado when we didn't have a building. So it's adjusting them in. And so it's been super stressful. And I'm going to tell you, I've been real lazy, like extra lazy. There's been a lot of to-go food in my life. There has been none exercise at all, and I feel that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel it in my body because I was really consistent and regular with my workouts. And then I kind of stopped. And then I did some at-home things, and then I stopped that too with all of this change. And I feel it. I feel, like, it's just that. And it goes to, once you kind of have that habit and it feels good. There's not anyone out there, well, maybe, but very few people out there who have never worked out, but for those of us that have and do, when you actually work out, you feel better.
Absolutely. At the end of it, you get that endorphin rush. 100%.
That's it. Yeah. You feel better. You're going to look better. Things fit better. And even if you're not going for, like, I'm not talking about training for competitions or
even bodybuilding
Yeah. You're just a normal person that wants to be healthy. And that's what I've always, I've said this. I've always had a trainer because I'm terrible at accountability. And, my trainers would be like, well, what did you eat? And I'm like, you don't want to know. But I work out 3 to 4 days a week so I can still continue to eat.
Right.
I say like crap. It really isn't terrible, terrible foods.
But it's more calories.
It's more calories.
So you're burning more.
It's not what I'm supposed to be eating.
Exactly.
It's not.
But you know where you have to be, where you want to be, and where that level of cardio you have to have or burning calories.
Absolutely. Yeah. I work out so I can continue to eat like a college kid. Like, that's always what I tell them. And they eventually just stop asking me. Like, it's like, what did you, never mind. I don't even want to know what you had to eat. And sometimes I'm like, no, I had like a big salad with chicken and light dress. But most of the time it's like, well, I went through Kentucky Fried Chicken, or we have a Wendy's now. Sonic was quick. I could order on the app, pick it up. The drinks are cheaper on the app. Like it's not the best.
I love Wendy's specifically because they show, your carbs, your fats, your protein, and they are heavy on the proteins.
Yes, they really are.
So if you're looking for a good protein stack, the Wendy's always often.
And their salads are pretty good too.
Are they?
I've had a couple, and the greens are fresh. Like they've got the good chicken, and they're big. So it's not like there's somewhere else I used to get a salad from every now and then, and it was like small. I'm like, not even a meal.
We're lucky because we live in a tourist town that we have a lot of great options for better eating now.
True.
If you live in a big city and you're listening here, you have 32,000 options.
Right.
If you're living in a small town, you probably don't have as many options.
Right.
So it's definitely more money to buy good food prepared for you already. So if you are financially not in the position to buy from a place that makes good food, fresh foods, things of that nature, then definitely go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Stock up at the grocery store because, and like you said, back to the being lazy, you're going to have to make it a habit to prep your meals if you have a busy life.
Food.
Yeah, exactly. But if you do get into that habit, Laura and I, we didn't prep our meals. We bought prepped meals.
Sure.
But you know how much that helped me in consuming less calories overall? Yes. And those were really good calories too.
Yes. Yeah, because you know what you're eating
exactly.
is someone has put the thought into it. Because we live in an area where you can't even do like the fresh meals or whatever it is, factor whatever meals, like those deliveries.
Fresh factor, is that something like that?
All of those things. Like we can't get those here.
Which is weird. You'd think they'd just be able to ship it to us.
You would think so. I mean,
too small of a town.
It just doesn't. I guess the timelines, because things don't always get delivered. There's no 2-day Prime here. Like the timeline is weird because I've looked at a couple of them, the Home Chefs and those types of things, and it's just not really an option. So you do have to be more mindful. But I think if you're more mindful about it too, you are going to go to the store and get things you're going to prepare, are easy enough. I eat a lot of microwave dinners. Like I just do, because for me, a lot of food goes to waste unless I freeze it and all of those things, because I'm just cooking for me. But they have so many options now of the healthier, not super preserved fast food or microwave dinners that will fill me up and they'll serve their purpose. And so it's hard, but, we were just talking about how, we all fluctuated. Everyone has something about them they don't like. And when it's pinpointed, because I am not a young person. I mean, I feel it. Like, I don't know what my age is supposed to feel like.
What do you feel like? What do you feel? Because I feel about 32, 33-ish right now.
Yeah, I feel mid-30s.
27 to 33.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't know. I think that's more important than actual age, how you feel, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I 1,000% agree. But I also know that I'm not going to see all the pictures of myself and be like, that is a young woman.
And I also know that, after jiu-jitsu, I recover a lot slower than I used to. You know what I mean?
It all takes
30-year-old Jay Lindley recovered a lot faster than 45-year-old. I'm not 45 yet. 44-year-old Jay Lindley.
44. You're so close.
I know.
Almost.
Yes. May 27th. I like large and expensive gifts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your Cash App is?
Jay Wesley Lindley. My name. No.
We were talking about, especially when you're younger, you have that unrealistic image of your body too, especially now. And I grew up in the cocaine era of models. Like everyone was stick thin, and we wore your pants had a 2-inch zipper,
right?
Because you were just barely covering your pubic bone. And that's what all of the stars looked like. And that's what everyone looked like. And that was pushed in the magazines and things like that. And I do think, in a sense, growing up in a smaller area where there wasn't a lot of the TV and the seeing the pretty people, like, not that there weren't pretty people that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like
the glamorous stuff.
Yes, like being at the mall and they're doing the model search and those types of things, or the casting calls, or all of that stuff. Going to a smaller school where there weren't those skinny, popular, super pretty girls that you had to compete with, if you will. But I think social media is such a downfall for body image, especially for our younger generations. And your child should not have social media, period.
Can it be argued also, though, that body positivity has advanced even further because of social media, and the folks out there that do have that body positive, they're projecting that with bodies that are not of the quote unquote norms for prettiness.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I think that is great. The Lizzos of the world, and then everyone, and then it's like you can't win.
I don't know if we can use her as an example now.
Has she been canceled? I think she's been canceled. I'm sorry, but anyway, she was really good about it. But then Adele, Adele was a larger person, and she decided to change her lifestyle and lose some weight and be healthier, and she got railed for that.
Yep.
And it's just like, what? Can I win? Like, how do you win in this? And I will say it always. I don't care what you look like as long as you're healthy. Like, because there are people in larger bodies, if you will, that may be by some antiquated chart obese, but they have great blood pressure and they're healthy
5Ks.
And they can run and dance and perform and do all of these things. But by, this outdated standard, they're not a healthy person. Yeah. And we do know carrying weight is not great for your body. It's not great for your joints. It's not great. You don't think of imagery and you think about the sizes of ancestors. We come from smaller people. Like, there's not a lot of genetically big people when you start tracing down historical things. Like, these movies show like all these people being huge, like they weren't big people. Like, they were pretty small people. And so carrying all that weight is just not great for your body. But it's also not great for your image if you are not comfortable in it. And I think that's where the confidence is the most attractive quality comes in. Because if you're, comfortable in your body, if you are comfortable with who you are and how you look and how you present yourself, other people are going to be comfortable with that too.
Yeah.
They're going to be drawn to it. But if you're self-conscious and just not making that eye contact and slouching and sitting over the corner and staying out of the, it's just, people notice that. And then it becomes a cycle because people are noticing it and you're like, oh, people are noticing that.
Right.
And it's like, well, yeah, because you're sitting over there being super self-conscious or not speaking or not getting in the middle of things, not getting into the pool, not getting into the ocean, not getting into a swimsuit even because you're so uncomfortable with your body. What are you doing to change that? And that's where, that self-confidence piece comes in. Like, hell, if you get a little bigger, rock it. If you're comfortable with it, you're healthy, there's nothing going on, you've had everything checked, it's just your body now metabolizes things different. If you worked out and cut calories and did all that, you could lose a little bit of weight. But the doctor's like, listen, this is where you are. Genetically,
you're at a healthy weight.
Look at your family, this is where you are. And if you're like, I bet, and you roll with it, and you
love to hike and you can still do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Until it starts impairing what you love to do. And if you love to hike, but you've let yourself get into a position where you can't, maybe you've gotten overweight and it's really hard for you, just go on a little hike. Just start. Because I think that's one of the things. And being active has been shown to improve your self-confidence. Because when you work out, you feel better.
Everything. It improves everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Sleep, water, being active. Throw those things in your life and everything gets improved. Mental fortitude, memory, breathing.
Yes.
Vision can even, there's so many things that actually can be improved by just doing what your body needs normally every single day.
Yeah.
And making it a habit.
Yeah. Because if your heart isn't working right or if it's having to pump too hard, then it's going to make you more tired and maybe make you where you can't sleep. Blood pressure issues can mess up your eyesight. Like there's a lot of things that can be going on. And that's why, I won't go on the rant about insurance and healthcare in our country, but
it's garbage.
I wish we had better preventative care, because a lot of people, if told early enough, and when they're going to those first doctor's appointments, were given information about, well, yeah, you have this, and if you would do these things, like we'll give you the medication, and if you need medication or surgery or whatever it is to jumpstart the weight loss journey because you want to be healthier, not because you want to look better, not because you're not going to change your habits and you want to lose this weight. Because I promise, if you do not change your habits,
you'll go right back.
You'll go right back. I've seen it a dozen times. And there's a lot of doctors who will perform the bypass surgery or the weight loss surgeries without having those discussions with you and without enforcing you have to go see a therapist, you have to go see a nutritionist, you have to go do these things, because people put on weight for a reason most of the time, and it's depression or childhood trauma or whatever it is. And if you don't manage those things, or just you have an eating disorder, if you don't manage those things, you're not going to change.
15 to 20 years ago, when this stuff really started hitting the market, like the sleeves and the all that, they made you go for a period of time, like maybe 6 weeks, eating properly, proving that you are going to now change the way you eat before they would even do the surgery.
Right.
But now people can just go down to Mexico City and get it for half the price, and you don't have to worry about all that stuff.
Nope. You just go get it, and you're not changing your habits.
And now you're eating crackers and puking, and you wonder what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, why am I doing that? Well, probably because the doctor should have told you no crackers,
and
period.
And they may have.
Yeah, that's true, too.
But you're still going, well, I'm skinny now.
You didn't read the pamphlet that came with it. Yeah.
It was in Spanish. I didn't know what it said. I mean, you have to change your mentality about it. And just because you're heavier and you came from heavy people and everybody in your family is heavier, so you're like, this is my life. Maybe, genetically, maybe. Like there are people who just by nature are larger people. I mean, you can look at some of the native tribes and those things, like they're just larger people. But for the most part, you have a choice in what your body does and how you treat your body and how you feel about that. And again, you may be okay with being a larger person. And if you like it, I love it. I just want you to be healthy, because there's a lot of skinny people who are also not healthy, that they have disordered eating, that their hearts are working overtime because they're starving themselves and they're not getting any kind of proper nutrition. They're trying to operate at that calorie deficit like we talked about, but they're doing it to be unrealistically thin, or they're not getting nutrients. They're eating or just drinking a protein shake or having, a little something here and there, but they're not eating properly when they do eat. So yes, they're operating at a calorie deficit, but the calories they're taking in are useless. So they're not getting their proteins
properly. Yep.
Right. And so they may look good, but it can get into that body dysmorphic disorder. It can get into that disordered eating and all of those things, because how we look to other people is not how we look to ourselves. Even if you have really good confidence, you are going to look in the mirror and you are going to see all the little cracks, every bump, every nook and cranny, every bulge, everything that's on your body, and you may nitpick it to death, and someone is looking at you going, damn, you look good.
Yeah. Well, think about it like a car. Your car, you know everything wrong with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But somebody standing about 15 foot away looking at it like, dang, that's a nice car. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, they ain't seen all the chips that you know about. They ain't seen that the brakes are a little squealy. You know what I mean? You know it, but it's hidden. Most of the things wrong with us are hidden. We wear
really
clothing. What you were talking about, the things we have. I think we should. What's the worst thing about you, body wise, and the best thing? I'll go first.
Okay.
I have a back. I always joke. I have a back butt. All right. So I got my regular butt. And then I've got fat deposits like in the love handles area, but not like here. I've got like muscles here, but for some reason I can't lose the back fat right back here. So it looks like I have two butts, stacked on top of each other. That's my most body negative piece about me. I like everything else about me. It's my back butt.
What is your favorite?
It's a couple of different things. I like my smile because I've always been told I have a really good smile. Ladies have always told me I have pretty eyes. Okay, and I'm tall. Oh, those things have all gone positive again for me. But I could have been a couple inches shorter and, had less weight to carry on my joints all these years, and I'd be a little bit better off right now.
That's probably true.
But yeah,
so a couple inches shorter, you'd still be 6 foot something.
But
so.
40, I am much more positive or content with the way I look today. And I think the discipline that came with jiu-jitsu has helped that tons. And aging. Yeah. I care a lot. I've raised children that are now successful in their own way. So I feel a little, some pride in that, I guess you could say. Sure. Not as much pride, but like I'm accomplished in that sense. So now you can look at me and I'm flawed, but I've done things in my life, I'm at the peak of my my career. I'm doing what I want to do for my life. So I'm very content, which brings confidence, I think. Right. Contentment definitely breeds confidence. So, but yeah, there's still parts of me that I don't like. A little bit of my spare tire definitely has shrunk down to more like a larger motorcycle tire than the full on tire. But I still got a little bit of that. It's a
little go-kart.
Yeah, a little go-kart tire. Yeah. But it's still there, and I see it. But if you saw me competing, in jiu-jitsu, you'd think, dude's skinnier than a rail. You know what I mean? So, but when I compete at 205, I've been told, somebody commented on my Facebook page that I look like I was suffering from AIDS.
Oh my God!
The trolls are horrible on social media. But yeah, so.
And you have a big following because of the station too, so you do get more trolls.
I've been doing this for 24 years, so my trolls have followed me from station to station.
Yes. And they never stop trolling.
Yeah, but hey,
trolls be trolling.
They pay the private jet bills, you know what I mean?
That's right.
So trolls, hey, here's to the trolls.
Here's to the trolls. For me, I think it's midsection just in general.
Okay.
You guys don't know this out there in the podcast world. Well, some of you do because you know me, but I do have a stomach tattoo. That's the one I regret.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Because
why do you regret the stomach tattoo?
It shows every
Oh, okay. Any imperfection?
I was
not that you have any
very thin when I got it.
Got you. Understood.
I am not very thin now.
It was super flat when you got it.
It looked great. I didn't think it through. So yeah, I don't regret that. I have that, or I do regret that. I mean, I don't. I would say that just the mid. It's just not
similar to mine.
Yeah, it's just not as firm and and it will never be. It will never be because I'm not going to put the work to get there. It could be.
Well, yeah, you're right. It could be because I train 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm still not getting it. So, but you're right. If I ate 100% properly for the next 6 weeks and trained 4 times a week, it would be there. If
you were if we were competing,
my eyes would be sunk in, and I would look very sickly.
Just drawn, you'd see all our veins, but hey, everything would be
nice
exactly.
and tight. So, and I think we both have probably came to the point in our lives that we're like, I don't need all the sunk in look for that little bit of I can cover the part that I'm insecure about up with a t-shirt or a hoodie.
That's what clothing they're for, like high-waisted pants.
Yep. Hey, they came back. Everybody's
Everybody's doing it. Yep. So just tuck that right in. It's fine. I think I always get complimented on my smile and my boobs, like I did something to create them, but are
those natural?
I just grew them. I grew them myself.
For the boys watching,
they're real and they're spectacular.
You grew them.
But it's they draw attention, so sometimes they're not a win-win. It's
a double-edged sword, if you will.
It really is. You can't, and that's one of the things self-conscious about because I cannot wear the same things to work that a lot of people can wear. I can't wear the same things just out that a lot of people can wear unless I choose to. Like, listen, if you've followed on any social medias, you've seen the girls. They're going to be up and out because they look good.
Especially on the ship.
Oh, yeah. Listen.
You don't see none of these fools.
Listen, they going to be up and out. But, at work, I'm going to wear a tank top underneath a shirt that might gap a little bit if I lean forward. And it's always been, I was before, this position, I worked with a lot of men on a regular basis. I was working with law enforcement and military and all that thing. And I wanted to not ever be at work or in a session or showing up for something in anything that would be distracting, if you will, and not even to them, like not even that they would be staring at my chest, but I mean, they probably would be, 1,000%. They do it anyway in a sweatshirt, but
men can't help it.
For me, I would be conscious about it. And so it would throw me off when I'm doing the trainings. It would throw me off when I'm doing those things. Understood. So it makes me self-conscious when I'm doing certain things or wearing certain things, in certain situations. And I think women get that kind of self-consciousness about how they look and what they wear because of the fear. I mean, there's, society is not kind to women most of the time. And if anyone's going to be attacked, it's going to be a woman most of the time. And so, you are aware. What am I going to be doing? What do I need to wear? Where should I be? Let me be paying attention. But it does create some of that self-consciousness of what am I, like, who's, what, and I don't know that men deal with that as much, but I think they do in the, I want to look good. I want to present myself well, because men have just as much self-consciousness, self-esteem issues as women do.
Absolutely. I believe that.
I think it's just easier for a man to slide through on some things because they don't need, it's not, I mean, they have the stars, we have the Jason Momoa of the world, but then you have like the Vince Vaughns. He's not a super fit guy. He's just a big old dude. Like the Kevin, what's his name? Kevin, he was on King of Queens.
Oh, yeah.
Been on a ton of things.
Yep.
Anyway.
I know you're talking about.
He's a big dude, but he's funny and he's pleasant. He was Hitch. He was on that one.
Yep.
His name is just escaping me.
It's another first name, I think.
Yeah,
That's
I think it is.
why.
I think so too. And Hitch is a good example. Kevin James. Yeah, good answer. Kevin James. Hitch is a good example of the matchmaker. Like his whole purpose was to get people out of their own way, to get you to stop looking for perfection and to stop looking for that person you think you should be with because of the way they look or what they have or whatever it is, and for the person themselves to be confident because what ended up in the movie getting him was his confidence and his lack of care. He was who he was, and that's attractive when someone will just be who they are. And I think our younger people definitely struggle with it more because kids are mean, they're harsh. They're going to pick on you. They're going to call you names. They're going to bully you, all of those things. And that's where...
They're brutally honest.
Oh, they're brutally honest. And that's where, to the parents of the world, all of you people who have parents, even little kids, don't call your little girl chunky. Don't. It may be cute. You may think it's funny. But, oh, yeah, she's the heavier one. She likes to do this. Look at them roll, because people think it's cute. Whatever. I don't know why people think it's cute. But if your child is old enough to understand you, do not implement body image issues in your toddlers and your kids growing up, because that is going to stick with them. You don't call well, yeah, they're a little heavy, or you have to watch your weight, because then you have a child who has now developed eating disorders because mom said I need to watch my weight. Like mom said I couldn't do, or dad's calling me this and I don't want to be that. So I need to go work out all the time and take the supplements. And, you have high school kids who are on human growth hormones and steroids and all of these things that severely damage their normal growth patterns. And so it's just really, it's one of those things where you're just like, talk to your kid and talk about healthy behaviors. Hey, you want to lose weight? Okay, I noticed that you're not eating, or I've noticed you're sneaking food into your room. What's happening? And there may be like, well, I don't eat at school because the kids make fun of me because I'm big. It's like, okay, so let's do something about that. And we don't make our kid feel bad and go, well, yeah, you are heavy. I told you stop eating all those ding dongs. Why are there ding dongs in the house?
Right.
Like, help your kid out. Even if you are healthy and doing the things, if your kid is not, they shouldn't be in the house. Don't have those things around that your kid can go sneak, because obviously they're having some eating disorder behaviors and they're overeating, or they're hiding food, or they're sneaking food. That's a sign of disordered eating, and it's something that needs to be addressed because something is going on. And it may be a weight issue, it may be a body issue, it may be depression or anxiety or whatever it is. Something's going on that you need to address there. And it's the same with adults. If you notice a big change in your eating habits or your behaviors or even your self-confidence, and you're like, yeah, I can't do that. I don't feel comfortable with that. It's like, why? You used to could. And you're like, yeah, well, something has happened. Sit down and figure out what that is. And sometimes you just have to fake it. And the more you fake it, the better you're going to be. If you don't feel, going back to the fact that people with low self-confidence earn less in the workplace, start having those conversations with your friends. Practice the conversation you need to have with your boss or your peers. Write down your strengths. Write down what you do. You may not think you do a lot and you don't deserve it, but write down what you do compared to what someone making more than you is doing. And then that could give you the confidence to go, you know what? I do need to go address this.
And I was going to say, fake it while you're working on yourself and building that confidence. Mm-hmm. Don't just fake it to continue to fake it for the rest of your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Eventually it'll become a habit. Eventually it'll sink in.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
You would think, but not necessarily. And, stand up taller, sit up straighter, make eye contact, even though it's uncomfortable. Even though you may be going, oh, they're looking at me, judging me. Maybe, but who cares?
Yeah.
Let them
they're
judge
probably looking at you thinking, what are they judging me about?
Right. Yeah.
We're all thinking the same thing.
Thinking the same thing, Wear the outfit, do the things. And if people look, they look. And if you feel confident in it, they're going to be like, she is rocking that. Yeah. He is wearing the hell out of that outfit.
Most women I'm around that see a woman, let's use a larger woman as an example, in a bikini at the beach. Most women I'm around, they'll be like, dang, I wish I had the confidence to wear that. They don't say, dang, she shouldn't wear that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not saying that. They're like, man, I wish I had that confidence.
Yeah, it's not like, oh my God, she wore that.
Yeah.
It's, oh my God, she is wearing that.
Yep.
Like, I wish I could rock that or whatever it is, because that person obviously has a self-confidence and they don't care and they're out there living their life and being happy and healthy. And that's what it really is about.
And that person will guaranteed at some point run across that idiot or that douchebag that says, oh, you shouldn't wear that or whatever. Oh, look at that. That's going to happen too, no matter what you look like. You're going to run across somebody that's like, oh, she shouldn't wear that. She's too skinny. Oh, she shouldn't wear that. She's too big. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't matter what part of life there's going to be somebody to judge you. So you got to kind of turn those people off.
Exactly. Yeah, you put a thin girl in this like model type, whatever, the Instagram model, and a larger person in the same swimsuit and stand them side by side. People are going to judge both of them.
Exactly.
They're going to have something negative to say about both. One, oh, look at her being so slutty and she's out here. I can't believe she's wearing that. Yeah. And the other, oh my God, she's too big to be out here wearing that. It's like, just stop. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Because if you need to run people down to make yourself feel better, what's going on with you?
I think that's what it is. I think they already have those self-esteem issues and they're thinking, I can't wear that, so she shouldn't either.
Right.
So now I'm going to vocalize that.
Yes. Yeah. Instead of going, what's wrong with me that I wouldn't feel comfortable coming out like that?
Yeah.
It's what's wrong with them because they do feel comfortable.
And that's why I like the people I hang around with. Because, like, again, it's who you hang out with.
It is.
And
absolutely.
That's why I like the people I hang out with, because, again, they would say, hey, I wish I had that body positivity so I could wear something like that versus, ugh, I can't believe she's wearing that.
Yeah. You are the average of your friends.
Absolutely.
And if you are in a friend group or you are, around people who are that negative,
it's going to rub off on you.
It's going to rub off on you and you're going to start being that negative. And then you're going to be like, well, what do they say about me? What are they saying about me?
Because they are saying something about
1,000% they are talking about you.
Definitely.
Without a doubt. So yeah, I just, I want everyone listening to, look in that mirror and see those good qualities. Like, even if you write them down in your head, you're like, yeah, I know I got this. Then stand in front of that mirror and smile and act goofy and do the things instead of going, oh, I don't like that. Oh, my hips are so big. Oh, I've got this. I got this. What is this? Like, this piece of your arm. Like, even when I was working out, I got good muscle, but it's age.
Well, flex and do that.
I do, but it's still there a little bit.
It's not as see.
Like, it's not as
but
much.
see, when you flex,
but when I know,
but everybody's got the muscle flop. The muscle will flop too if it's not.
I feel like it's just getting bigger and bigger, but and I know it's not, and that's just it. I know it's not.
That's like cinching down in the thing, and everybody's got a roll there when you do that and saying, "See my belly fat," but when you stand up, it's flat.
Right.
You know.
And I do love. I love the Instagram because you doing that made me think about the girls, those Instagram model girls that show side-by-side pictures of this is what I look like, but this is what I am when I'm posed, when I'm in this weird angle that bodies aren't even supposed to go into, but it makes me look
like you're about to fall over.
It's exactly like, oh, is she going to go down? I know some people that when I've seen them in person, I'm like, oh, and you get that on dating apps a lot too, where they know how to work the angle, and you would never know that they were larger. And I say larger, and it's not a bad thing. Like, I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying it's a bad thing to be a larger person or a person in a larger body or however you want to word it, or overweight, whatever words you want to use.
Right.
It's just be healthy and be happy with who you are. If you're a big person, if you gonna rock the gut, if you got the dad bod and you don't care, cool. Then don't care.
But you're also pointing out that there are some people out there that act like they don't care, but still get the right angle. So when you see them in person, you're like, okay, not who I thought it was going to be.
Exactly.
So that is still a level of insecurity.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you won't show what you actually, if you are swiping through pictures going, nope, not the right angle, well, just be yourself. Like, everyone's going to respect that more. And if you can have that confidence and show people, I don't care. This is me. I'm putting it out there. Y'all like it or not, keep moving if you don't.
Yep. And
it really is just about feeling good in your body and feeling healthy. Because, when I saw those reels, when she cut that, I was just, because I'd already edited the video and hated it. And I knew when she made the reels, it was going to zoom in because the program she uses zooms it in. And I saw those and I was like, I'm not even going to, there was a point where I was like, I'm not even going to post these.
Yeah.
Like, I really hate the way I look in these so much that I'm not going to post them.
So what did you do to go ahead and ultimately post them then? So, you ultimately had to work through it a little bit.
I think that
well, you could have easily said just not promoted it.
I could have not. Right. I did have a choice. There's a choice in everything. Ultimately, I was like, I need to promote because I'm still growing and I still need to put these reels out and I still need everyone to go to TikTok and follow me so I can get to 1,000 so I can start doing lives. But
and we can battle.
That's a whole other. That's right. We can battle it out.
Can't wait.
That's a whole other side note. But I looked at it and I thought, I hate the way I look at this. I hate the way I'm using the word hate because it was true. I hated the way I looked at it. But then I stepped back and I was, I loaded the one and I posted it and I'm like, no one else is going to notice that. And I think that's what was my ultimate. And if they do, they're just going to be like, damn, she must have been tired. Like, ooh, she looks tired. And if they know me, they'll know that I am. Like, bro, when that one was recorded, I was very tired. But I ultimately was like, the people that know me aren't going to care. They know that's what I look like on a rough day. They know that's what I look like in certain lighting. Like, they see me. And the other ones, if they want to troll, they can troll. If they want to say something about it, like, I'm there. Like, that looked terrible. You right. Like, I agree. Like, I'm
Thank
with
you, Captain Obvious.
That's right. There were some dark circles. You ain't wrong. I went ahead and thought, it just because I need to promote and no one else is really going to notice this. Like, honestly, no one else is going to look that close. They're not going to pick it apart. And if they do, I don't really care because the underlying thing is I do have the confidence to know I am a decent looking person. I know that, I can be out there in the streets and do all right. I can get the looks and it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But so I'm just like, I'm fine. I don't like this one, but the next one will be better, or I just won't post it at all. But no, I went ahead and did it because I needed to, and it was deep down. I know that it's okay. I know that it's going to be okay, and I know no one's really going to judge. And again, if they do, that's on them. So, yeah, that's where we are.
That's true. Well, I mean, I think I saw one of them, and I know exactly what you're talking about. You just didn't look as you normally do, right? In the picture. So, but like you said, as someone who has been in your family for nearly 15 years now, right. I've seen you on more days not made up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it really wasn't a shocker, you know. So maybe, hey, if a billion people follow you and start listening to you, maybe we can afford a makeup team every time we go out. You know,
we'll have a whole team.
Exactly.
It'll be fine. Y'all get on that.
There you go.
Get to follow
Get to follow on
like,
TikTok.
share, subscribe, do all the things.
This has been a good episode. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me on again.
I'm glad you came.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Peace.
For my producer, Jay Lindley, I'm Leslie Ross. Thank you all for joining us. Please send any questions or comments through the website, heytherapist.com, or email help@heytherapist.com. They may be featured on the show anonymously. Hey Therapist is an SEOK radio production and is for your entertainment purposes only. Thank you for joining us. Make good choices.